Good afternoon. Hey, Spiros. I see that you've read a lot of my articles, so that's good. Hey, BL. Haven't seen BL. I don't think BL's jumped onto TradingView yet, so haven't seen you click on those articles. Jen B. I'm not sure that Jen's still around. She came in an hour early due to daylight savings. So just bear in mind, you guys, if you're jumping onto the session, wherever you are, timings might have changed slightly for you guys. We're still, oh, good, you're still here. You've been waiting for an hour. Now the pressure's on to deliver since you've been waiting for an hour. Yeah, so wherever you guys are, please make sure we're still here, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8. So tune the watches, look at the clock. Make sure that you jump on. We'll give it a couple of minutes before we get started. Anyone else, if you're on the session, do drop a message, say hi. Let me know, and if you're new to the session, let me know where you're joining us from. I always want to know. Why I want to know is just because, if I ever get to Greece, where Spiros is, then I'll drop you a message, catch up for a coffee or a beer or whatever. It'd be nice to do that. Hey Nick, how you doing? Good to see you. So again, if you're new to the session, let me know where you're joining us from, and the regulars, thank you for attending again. Brand new week, end of the month. Well, coming to the end of the month. So it is going to get quite tricky, but it's going to get quite interesting as well. Have you guys been trading? Did you guys did many trades on Friday after we ended the session? Markets started going a bit bonkers. I did jump into some trades, short-term counter-trend trades. Hey Peter from Nairobi in Kenya. Good to see you here. Nothing on Friday. I know a lot of you, I think BL especially said, Friday is rest day. So Nick didn't do any trades on Friday as well. Hey, Bubbly Kitten from Croatia. Good to see you here. I think you're new to the channel or new to the stream, so good to have you on board. We're here every day, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8. Become a regular, be a regular, join the community. One more minute and we'll get started. I will start on time this time. And if you haven't already, those of you who are on watching right now, if you're watching a recording or after the stream has ended, do help me out. Click on that like, click on that subscribe button on YouTube and on TradingView. We're on both on YouTube and on TradingView. Help me click on that little rocket ship button or that thumbs up button on YouTube. Hey Suki, how are you doing? All right, let's get started. Brand new week. Welcome again. Monday today. We are here today for the daily market analysis, where I will be guiding you through my thoughts on the fundamentals, what has happened, what is likely to happen coming up, the technicals, where has price moved to, are we looking for a retrace, a breakthrough. I'm sharing with you my thoughts and views of the markets. Putting that together, we look for some possible trade setups. I'll be sharing with you, but please remember, as we share any trade setups, the usual disclaimer applies, where any information contained in this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Please remember, I always adopt that approach, or suggest to people to adopt the approach where you learn how to look for the trade setups, learn why we're entering that as a trade setup, before you start jumping into trades and start earning. Your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider what we share here for your appropriateness, or considers appropriateness to your circumstances. I do tend to look at many different trades, many different possible setups. If you do jump into all of them, you will be over leveraged, you will be taking on too much risk, right? So, as much as I can, I will try and kind of prioritize it for you guys. Tell you which is likely to happen quickly, or which is likely to take a bit longer. What could happen now? What could happen later? As best I can, right? I can't really predict. Well, no one can really predict the markets. So as much as I can, I help you with that. So you're not going to over leverage. You're not going to take on too much risk, and then it all screws with your psychology, right? Trading method is one part of the overall big picture in trading. The hardest part, and the part that really gets you profitable and profitable consistently, is the psychology. So make sure you work on all of that, keep that balance right across the board. Hey Ayakame, good to see you. Good morning. How are you doing? All right, and remember that the contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. Please, 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 please do your own due diligence, DYODD. All right, so with that said, again, I see a couple of new names here, so good to have you guys on board. Please remember that at any point in time, if you have a trading related question, put it into the chat. I'll be happy to explain it, repeat it, elaborate on it a little bit more for you guys. And also, if you have any particular pairs, currency pairs, commodities, Bitcoin, any whatever you want me to look at, put it into the chat. Let me know. I will share with you my view. Might not be the right view, but I'll share with you my view on whichever instrument you want me to look at as well. Right? So it's a bit of a Q&A session. It's a bit of a sharing session. It works best if we have it as a two-way session rather than me just here rambling on, identifying levels and possible setups. Okay? SP96233 with XAU USD. Gold will be one of the pairs that I will jump into shortly as well. So thanks for that. All right, so let's get going. So as usual, you guys know that I will have a summary sheet here for you guys, which I will post it up towards at the end of the session, just so that you can check out the summary. And I'll show you here. This is what we did the last time round. Where is it? There we go. So this was the one we did last week. It's posted up there. And then if you are watching this, you can always, it's all copied into that for you guys. And then also, the link was supposed to be there, but it's not. No idea why. Okay, so you can always leave comments, ask me questions, and it's all there for you guys. The psychology book is coming out. I'm finishing it up. The final draft is coming out to you guys shortly. I know you have reached out to me on that, so it'll be coming out to you guys shortly. Hang on there. Hang on tight. Okay? So let's look at what happened. Let's look at the news first. Let's look at the news and see what happened before. All right? So as usual, well, as I said earlier, Sunday we had the Swiss, the Euro, and the UK shifting on their daylight saving. Hello, Kahitalash. Good to have you here. All right, so on Sunday we had daylight saving shift. I'm not sure if it's a shift forward or a shift backwards, but there was a bit of a shift in terms of daylight saving. So it's make sure you tune your watches. And good thing is that, I think it's a good thing. Let me just double check. Yeah, good thing is that the news now for the US is not going to be released at 9:30. It's at 8:30, so it makes it a little bit easier for us in the GMT plus 8 time zone. Okay, so what happened on Friday? Right, On Friday, when we spoke about this, we had a pound during the 3 p.m. time. We had a pound retail sales number being released. It was a 0.5, got revised up to a 0.9, expected a 0.2. Not a flash number expected there on the retail sales number for the UK, but it came out at 1.2%. So it came out a lot stronger than expected. But if I show you the pound dollar at the 3 o'clock timing, you can see that it barely moved, right? This candle here was the 3 o'clock timing. It barely moved to the upside. In fact, from 4 o'clock onwards, we saw it trading lower. We saw it trading to the downside towards that 1.22 support level. Okay. Apart from that, through the day, we had the Eurozone with the French, the German, and the Eurozone manufacturing and services PMI data release. You can see that it wasn't a big change, right? It wasn't a big change. Services PMI generally performing better than expected, and manufacturing being worse than expected. But you can see that French, German, and Eurozone in particular were still, well, it went from that 48.5 to a 47.1. So it's still entrenched, deeply entrenched in that under 50 level. And being under 50, it's less than, well, it's a contraction. It signals a contraction in the manufacturing sector for the Eurozone. And services PMI above 50, so it's in that expansionary phase. And you can see that it was 52.7, went to a 55.6. It really scaled into that expansionary phase, right? But it's a bit of a mixed bag here. We got red and green numbers. We got expansionary and contractionary numbers released at the same time. A little bit of a conflict there. And then onto the UK, also, one in the expansionary phase and one further entrenched in the contractionary phase. Okay, so all that put together, it didn't explain the reason why we saw the dollar index from 4 p.m. pushing up, right, from that 102.60 level, pushing up towards as high as 103.35. And then consolidating now, trading slightly lower. Okay, it was consolidating right across. Hey Angel Case, good to see you. Which session is best for trading? The session where you're going to see liquidity, right? Good liquidity, good price movements, and also for me, when it comes to scalping, I like to look for a trending scenario as well, right? It might be good liquidity, it might be good price movements, but if it's a counter trend scenario, that's possible, but it's a bit too high or too much of a high risk situation there. So I like looking for trending scenarios while price is moving with good liquidity. Okay. So no particular session, I'm not going to tell you the US is the best session or the UK or the Euro timing is the best or the overlap. In fact, it all depends on, the news coming out, the price liquidity, and whether it's in a trending scenario or not. All right. I hope I answered your quick question there. So the dollar, big push towards the upside, not really driven or not likely to be driven because of a news event. It bounced from 102.65 up towards 103.35. Hit that level and then started retracing back down. Let me just clear out some of this. Take that back. In fact, if I drag this down, you can see that. Let me just look for it. I was looking at this, and you can see that it held about that 50 level, and right now consolidating around that 38.2. Okay, but that aside, and I don't know why I have this dotted line. I'll take that away for now. Okay, so right now with the way the dollar is moving, right, we saw a brief upward move. I would classify it as much as I can. I'll classify it as a technical rebound, right? It hit that 102 level, traded up after FOMC on Friday, was sitting at about 102.65. Once it broke above this trend line, then we call it a technical rebound, went up to that next resistance level. What I would be looking for here now is that as much as dollar could trade up and break that resistance level towards the next resistance level at 103.93, or even I would say 104, right, at about that 104 level here. I think that it's quite likely we could have seen, for now, the end of that upward move on the dollar. Right? I would be looking for a possible trade towards the downside or possible move towards the downside. And in particular, if you did this, I think this would work. You can see that it is right now at that 23.6% fib retracement level. What we're looking for here is if price can break below this point, 23.6. So I'll put a dotted line there. Right? I haven't entered any trades at all today. I'm looking for this as a possible trigger. If it does trade down close below that 103, right? It's very close. Close below 103, then I would anticipate that we could see this trading down, right? Trading down towards 102.60, with about 102 almost 102.60, 102.50 as a support area, as a possible target level. Okay, so I would say that I'm looking for this to close down below 103 towards 102.50. What you'll notice as well is that, coming back to the news, no news. All right, coming back to the news, there's no news on the US, or in fact, very low level of news right across the board. The next big news that we have is early tomorrow morning, Governor Bailey from the Bank of England speaking at the LSE. Not likely to be a policy event. So I don't think this is something that you're going to stay up for, you're going to pay a lot of attention to. Okay, so not too stressed about that. Due to testify about the collapse of SVB, Treasury Select Committee. Again, what I noticed with Chair Powell when he was commenting about the SVB, or even right across the banking crisis during the press conference at the FOMC meeting, or after the FOMC meeting, didn't move prices too much. Right, so the comments about the banking crisis, the what would I say? The idea that they're going to secure deposits or depositors' interest, all that didn't seem to move prices too much. So I'm not going to pay too much particular attention about that, and that's for tomorrow as well, right? We do have the news coming back into play tomorrow. With consumer confidence for the US, more in particular the CPI data for the Aussie on Wednesday, and then CPI data for the Eurozone, not going to move too much. But the main feature for this week, not a big one, not a big fireworks, I don't think, is the GDP, not too much there for the US, and then the US core PCE price index on Friday evening at 8:30 GMT plus 8. All right, so the good part about this week is that we don't have a lot of big news. We had all the central bank news last week already. It's all done and dusted. We're hopefully going to see a bit more of a trending scenario, better trading conditions, less choppiness, big shoot-ups and spikes ups and down like what we saw last week. So possibly setting up for a better trading condition this week. All right, so we're going to change this to the 27th. Oops. 27th of March. I'm looking for the dollar index to trade lower from um, breaking 103 to 102.60, well, dot 50, let's say. All right, so that's the overarching view on the dollar index, looking for that downward move, right? With the way it's moving, not ready yet, still consolidating, looking for that breakout potential. Okay, good, good, good. Let me just see any questions. Nothing. Okay, good. So that's the dollar index done consolidating, looking for a breakout to the downside towards the 102.50 level. And since SP 96723 asked, let's jump to gold straight away. Okay, so why did I jump to gold straight away? I usually go through my currency pairs before I jump into the commodity, but this is one of the things I want to share with you guys. I, in fact, wrote about it here as well. So I was just trying a dual chart pose, kind of figured that one out. But just to share with you guys, this is something that I'm watching and it's coming very close right now. On the H4 time frame, gold, on the H4 time frame, you can see that if I put this, just because I like the nice round number, 2000, it tested once and then had a big retrace. We saw a bit of a head and shoulder there. We spoke about this the last time around. And then it tested a second time. What seems to be forming here is a double top chart pattern, a double top formation or as a chart pattern on gold with that 2000 level holding strong, right? Failing to break above 2000, we're seeing a double top being formed, looking like it could trade down towards that 1936 level again. Okay, so this is on H4 time frame, and we see that double top formed since the 20th of March and the 24th of March. There are 2 points forming the two tops. If we looked at it on the H1 time frame, now I'll take this one away, you can see that 2000 level again forming on a smaller range and double top again, right? And this was 24th at 2 a.m. and 24th at 8 p.m. Double top formation looking to break lower again. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is that I actually had it at 1970 as a support level, and also because if I did this, oops, what am I doing? I think it's this one. There you go. All right, you can see that with that fib level up, it's tested or it's testing and looking to break below that 50% level. Right, it's looking to break below that 50% retracement level. So I'm looking to see now if it does close lower, right, does close below, and to be safe, I would say about 1965, right, below 1965, we could see gold trade down towards that 1936 support level, right? How's that for gold analysis SP? All right, so I would say gold, looking for it to break 1965 down to 1936. 36 or 35, all right, down to 1935. Right, the last week when we spoke about this on Friday, we were saying that we're looking for it to trade up to 2000 level again, but we're leaving it for next week. And the good thing was that when we spoke about this at 3 p.m. on Friday, it was right there. It did climb up to that 2000 level again, did hold and reject, and then now we're looking for that downward move. Okay, so that, I don't know if any of you guys caught that upward move from 1980 to to 2000, but right now it hit at 2000 and it looks like it's pushing down towards 1936 or 35. All right, makes sense. All good on gold. If it's good, let me know. If you're happy, let me know. Could it break 1935? Possible, but I would say that do that first. Look for that first trade to the downside. I still look at this as a big upward move, so I'll be a bit careful. Thinking that it's going to have a big retrace to the or big correction downwards. Thank you, Chinon. Good to have you here. All right, so that's gold done. Let's go back to our usual pairs where we look at the Kiwi dollar first. All right, and I've been looking at the charts since 9 a.m. this morning. I thought, brand new week, I'll come in, I'm ready to go. Let's see what happens after that big retrace last week, and then it's just been sitting in that consolidation. Hasn't done anything on the Kiwi dollar, sitting right across. Looking at the way the dollar is moving, if it does push slightly up before trading down, maybe, then I think this is going to consolidate and maybe test a little bit lower. Okay. Zooming out a bit just to have a look. I would say that if you wanted, because of the way the Kiwi has been consolidating between 0.61, well, along that 0.62 level, right? It's been consolidating along that 0.62 level. You could look for a potential breakout to the downside, right? You could look out for a potential break to the downside, especially if it breaks. And this will be a brief trade, right? Especially if it breaks below 0.6190. Could be looking for a short. How about 0.6190? That right across. Stop loss 30, well, 20 to 30 pips. Take profit about 30 pips as well. A 1:1 risk reward ratio to the support level at 6150. All right. Key support level here we saw on the 16th of March failed to break lower and bounced up. So if it does break lower, we could see a very quick move to the downside, possibly come down and then bounce back up again. So just be extra careful there with a bit of a hesitation at 6170. All right, so Kiwi dollar looking for it to break 0.6190, stop loss 30, TP 30. Easy. Alrighty, cool. Next up, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar doing the same thing, right? Aussie dollar doing exactly the same thing, but it's not consolidating in a horizontal fashion. It is trending slightly upwards, right? On Friday, after we finished talking at about 3, started pushing down, and once it broke below that recent or that near-term low, I was actually selling the Aussie down. So I had this trade towards the downside, about 30 pips. So about there, 30. So it was that previous candle high. And then I had 30 pips as a take profit. And then it just closed out quickly and then I'm out. Right, so that was my Aussie dollar trade after the session on Friday. So that's a 4 o'clock. About 5 o'clock, as it continued pushing down, got into a trade, 30 pips, I'm out. And that's it, done. Right now, trading back down again. I don't know why I have so many lines here. So let me just take some stuff away. All right, you can see that 61.8 broke, but bounced back up again. So now we're looking for this to turn down. If this does trade lower, similar to the Kiwi dollar, this would need to break. I would say be extra safe here. and this would need to break below 66. In order to be extra safe, would be 6630. All right, it needs to be below 6630. So at that point, nope, 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 nope. Okay, so about there, 6630. Take profit will be about there, about 37 pips away. Stop loss about 37 pips away as well. 1:1 again to the downside on the Aussie dollar. Right, this is to be extra safe. If you are a bit more risk taking, then you could just be looking at about 6635. 6635, 30 pip stop loss, 45 pip take profit would be reasonable, understanding that there's some risk to that. Hey, Ketzar, thank you so much. I appreciate your comment a lot as well. All right, thanks for that. So now I'm looking at the Aussie dollar to break, what was it? 6635. Well, sell. Oh, wait, this was sell below. Okay, this is sell 0.6635, about a stop loss of 30 and a TP of about, what was it? 45. TP 6635. Stop loss 30, TP 45. There we go. Okay, good, good. That's the Aussie dollar done. All right. Guys, any questions, let me know. A little bit quiet, but let me know. All right, so that's done. The US yen, did I write something on the US yen? Yeah, I did. Right, so I wrote about the US yen. I was looking at these levels, and I'll show it to you here, right? So I was looking at this. Wait a minute. Now I know what's happening. Okay, I'll do it next round. I'm looking at this pushing up, right? And the last time we spoke about the US yen, we're looking at it consolidating between 129.80 and 130.60. So you can see 129.80 and 130.60. 130.60. It broke out and then it pushed towards the upside. What I'm looking for here is a potential, right? I'll zoom in a bit just so it's easier to see, is for price to trade up, right? Price to trade up, hit this top of that bearish trend line to the downside, which would coincide with that 61.8 level, right? So I'm looking for this to push up, test, and then reject to trade down. So it looks like this, right? It looks like it's turning down now already, so it could be a bit early, but I'm looking for it to test up, hit this level, which would align with 61.8, and then trade down. If that works, then we would have a selling opportunity at that trend line. So 131.50, stop loss tight, just because it's just at that trend line, so I want it super tight, about 30 pips. Take profit, we could go for 160, or going to be a bit safer, about 100, but that would be nice. Okay, with a bit of a hesitation level at about 130 that point there, 60. Okay, so we're looking for this to happen. So selling at 131.50, stop loss 30, take profit 160. Selling at 131.50, stop loss 30, TP 160. All right, but you also notice that if it does trade down, right, if it doesn't go up and then reject and turn down, if it does turn down from here, I'll say don't rush into a trade, don't get that FOMO feeling. You could be looking for it to break that 130.60 to turn down. Good comment there from Peter that the US yen seems to be forming an inverted head and shoulder. I do see that as well. Head there, shoulder there, and then a bit of a big shoulder right there. So inverted head and shoulder, which is also why we have that trend line, right? Zoom out, that trend line there. For this to be not for it to be an inverted head and shoulder, it's already there. For this to be a tradable inverted head and shoulder, you need price to break above this point and push up. Right, we're looking for this push to the upside on the US yen based on an inverted head and shoulder. So could happen, but I do like the trending scenario a bit more. I prefer a trending scenario, especially with the way the yen has been moving. So you could be looking for it to break above 131.50 or 131.80 to push up towards 133 based on an inverted head and shoulder. So we add on to that and say possible inverted head and shoulder by 131.80 to not by not by but by 131.80 to 133. Stop loss to TP of 133. Stop loss would be relatively tight, right? So if you did look at that, you'd be looking at about towards there. Stop loss could be about 30 to 40 pips, right? 30 to 40 pips to the downside. So we could say about 40 pips. Good spot there, Peter. Well done. Yep, that's the one for the yen. Oh, good. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Now, let me just change this. Didn't want to mess up my charts. Yes. All right. Pound dollar. Okay, so I was messing up my other charts, but it's okay. So now this is the webinar trading profile that I have. Pound dollar found that 1.22 support level. I'll take this away because it's invalid for now, and this as well. All right, so 1.22 formed a good, was a good resistance level, somewhat of a support level here and here as well. So pushing up, it's moving very similar, right? If you look at this, very similar to the way the Aussie dollar was moving. Overall, I am looking for the pound dollar to push towards that 1.23 level. You guys know that I was looking at 1.24 as a target. But with the way it's moving, I do think that what's possibly going to happen on the pound dollar is that it's going to do this. It's going to do this. Like that, right? Maybe. And if it does move that way, then it's going to climb up. It's going to be really hard to trade it up because it's in that zigzaggy, choppy price action like what we saw here over Friday. So, I would say that I'm looking for this to push up, but I'm possibly not going to be jumping into any trades on the pound until it gets to that 1.23. Then we can be looking for that break towards upside or a reversal like what we've seen back down again. Okay, so pound dollar, where is it? Okay, nothing. Now look for it to climb to 1.23. You're saying that it was looking to do 1.2340. No, it didn't do that. So it just reversed straight back down. Okay, so I'm still looking for it to push up, but we're going to decide what happens, what to do with the pound dollar after it reaches, or if it reaches, that 1.23 level. Okay, pound dollar done. Good, good, good. Euro dollar. Oops, something's not loading. Okay, euro dollar. We were looking at this, super keen on possibly pushing up, to test that support and that trend line to push up. It didn't happen, so let's take those away, and also didn't come close to triggering at all. Now that we had that trend line and the break of that trend line, I would say that sitting right there, right? A little bit less directional bias compared to the pound dollar. So what I would say is that if the dollar index continues consolidating right across, then euro dollar is likely to consolidate right across. Okay. What I would be keen to see, given that we've seen it trade down already, is a possible, now this is not a support, this is a resistance now. And you can see most recently it failed, it traded up a little bit before turning back down, is a continuation towards the downside, right? A continuation towards the downside. Let me just zoom out. Okay, so I would have this as my resistance area. All right, I'll put this whole thing as my resistance area. So I'm looking for price now. If it stays below 1.08 and 1.0780, then we're going to look for that downside move. But look, we're expecting, or we're looking for dollar to push down, right? So that bias or the overall broad view, looking for it to push down, that could mean that we're looking for euro dollar to push up, right? That inverse relationship. So at this point right now, looking for a strong candle. It's not ready to get into any trades yet. We're looking for a strong candle. If it does break above 108, I would adjust this and even say that as a trend line. Okay, but never mind, it's done already. I would say if it breaks above 108, then we could be looking for a buying opportunity towards 109. So at about 108.10, stop loss tight at about 40 pips to the upside. Alternatively is that you look for it to trade down, a bit more of a scalp, shorter term trade to the downside is below 107.50, stop loss. I don't like this one because my take profit's only 50 pips. My stop loss is going to be about 50 pips. Yeah, you could look at a 50 to 50 to the downside on the euro dollar. In fact, I would say if it fails, no, let's do that. If it fails to break above, stay out of it. It's just sitting right across. You're going to see a breakout. What could happen? Why I was a bit hesitant is the way I'm looking at the euro dollar is that it could trade down, but it could trade down very quickly. It could do that. So if you didn't have a order in place, then you're going to miss the move, and then you're going to get it right at the bottom, and then it's going to bounce back up because the support level of 107 is quite close. So, and it looks like it's forming that move to the downside already, right? It looks like a bit of a pin bar forming there, looking like it's going to push down. Could be a trade, could be a move to the downside, but I would say that in terms of a trade, I would look for a break of 108.10, 40 pips to 120 pips to the upside, right? Following with that trend. So euro dollar, there we go. Look to break 108 by 101 or not 108 1.0810, Stop loss about 40, TP about 120, 1.08. Alrighty. Euro dollar hasn't been moving as much or as nicely as we expect, but you just have to be a bit more patient for that. US Swiss franc, we spoke about this. We said between support and resistance, do nothing. Still at the same point, right? When we spoke about this on Friday at 3 p.m., it was at this price of 0.71 or 0.9175, exactly at the same price right now. So same ideals will hold. In between the two levels, do nothing right now. All right. AGO or NASDAQ, I'll get to that shortly. I do think that it could trade down, especially if the dollar continues to weaken to the downside. But it's consolidating right across. I wouldn't try and force a trade yet at this point. Ideally, I would like to see it trade down and I look to buy it back up, but it's just not a trade that I want to jump into right now, despite it moving slightly to the downside. And also because I'll tell you that US Swiss franc is not a pair that I trade a lot on. So that's why it's not something that I'm particularly in tuned with as well. All right. Do you guys trade the US Swiss franc a lot? And again, if you guys can help me out, click on that thumbs up or that little rocket ship button. Again, YouTube guys are winning. We've got more likes on YouTube, less people watching, but more likes on YouTube than the people on TradingView. So come on, team TradingView. All right. So with that, now we look at the US CAD. As we saw, right, dollar strengthened on Friday. Naturally, it led to the US CAD pushing strongly to the upside. So invalidated that view that we had that it could come back down. So right now, right, pushed up as high as that 1.38 level, retraced back down now at 1.3733. If the dollar continues pushing up, we could see some upside on the US CAD, but look at this. What I tend to look at is you can see any big push was quickly retraced, big push was quickly retraced. You could even be looking for a possible sell to the downside, just because it doesn't seem like it's been pushing up strongly or sustained a push to the upside. So at this point, what you could do if it breaks strongly, and by means strongly at 1.3750, you could have a trade 1.3750 to 1.38, 50 pip stop loss, very tight at 25 pip 25 pip stop loss, 50 pip take profit, a 1-2 to the upside. Yeah, okay, I'll be happy with that. So US CAD, where do we have it? Buy at 1.3750. 1.3750, stop loss about 25, TP about 50. Continue on with the previous trade. BL doesn't like CHF. Yeah, me too. All right, especially after the Swiss National Bank unpegged from the euro that time. Yeah, so we're looking at this. So this is, right, we've been talking about all the other pairs. We're expecting the dollar to weaken. And we're looking to trade based on the possible weakness of the dollar. This would be a trade that if we see the dollar not weaken and push up, then we could actually see the US CAD as a potential trade idea. Alrighty, good. Okay, so now I don't have the NASDAQ here. You guys would know that it's not something I look at a lot. I do have my resistance level at that 12,008, almost 12,900 level. Zooming out, in fact, I'm looking at H4 time frame. I would say that found a good strong resistance, right? Since Feb, it's failed to break above. Again in March, failed to break above. Looks like it's trading lower. I wouldn't rule out a move to the downside, especially as if price breaks below this upward trend line with a bit of a level here as well. So 12,750. If that breaks, then we could see it turn down towards a 12,430 level. All right, completely a technical view. I don't have the fundamental drivers behind the NASDAQ. So I hope I answered a question there, Anju. Okay. Did I talk very quickly today? Why did I get through my currency pairs or my pairs so quickly already? That's odd. I don't know. You guys are not asking enough questions. All right. With that, we're done. Now I wanted to look at Bitcoin. All right, clear all that. Look at it on a daily time frame. You can see that the last time, where is it? The last time we were at this level was in May last year, right? So it was all like bad, it was going well. Then we had the big bad news pushing price, and then now all the uncertainty that moved towards, or possible move towards alternative investments. We saw Bitcoin had a big push all the way almost to that 30,000 level, now consolidating at 27,800. So you can see that if it does break, momentum is to the upside. And if it does break above that 30,000 level, then we're going to see further upside moves. Right? If you see 30,000 has held even way back in 2021. Right? So if we see a break of that level, we're going to see further upside moves. But a confirmation will be about 32,000 before you're going to see that big confirmation of the upside move. Quite similar with Ethereum. Take away those lines. Right? Quite similar. You can see that the 1,800 level is there, consolidating there. A bit less of a big upside potential. The next level is about 2,035 to the upside on Ethereum. Okay. Any questions? Anyone with a trade that you want me to look at or something to chat about? Oh, by the way, I want to tell you guys is that where was it? I think Kame asked about this. So just remember that in 2 days' time, on Wednesday, if I'm not wrong, we will be, so it's on Wednesday, we'll have our session, the daily market analysis at 3 p.m. Through to 4. And then following up from that, we will have short educational session on the Fibonacci retracement tool at 4:30 p.m. GMT plus 8. All right. So I'll be doing that on Wednesday. So it'll be a 2-part series. First part, daily market analysis, and then second part, the Fibonacci retracement tool, learning how to use that. 4:30 GMT plus 8 on a Wednesday. Hey, M Leader, we are finishing. Unless you have anything else to ask, Good thing this is recorded. Good thing this is available all the time, so you can re-watch it over and over again. I was just sharing that we have a session here at 4:30 on Wednesday GMT plus 8, 4:30 p.m. On Wednesday. All right. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised I finished so quickly today. Any further questions? Anything to add? Anything to ask? Dollar is pushing up, so that's going to be something to watch out for, especially on the US CAD. Oops. Especially on the US CAD, possible setup there. Okay, so with all that said, guys, please remember, or guys and girls, please remember, trade well, trade safe. If you have any questions, drop me a message. It's just over there. You can drop me a message. I'll be happy to help you out with your trades, answer your questions, provide some additional analysis. We'll take it from wherever we start from. All right. So for now, trade well, trade safe. I'll see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8. Daylight savings, adjust your clocks. Till then, bye bye now.